Hey, I'm Nate Flax.
I'm Noah Longworth McGuire.
And this is Talking Lion.
Talking Lion is a podcast focused on artist-to-artist conversation.
We're primarily artists, a duo called Sleeping Lion, but we've been lucky enough to write, produce, and hang out with so many incredible rising artists since we started our project.
Whether it's at sessions or parties over cups of coffee, we've talked with our creative friends about everything. Music, life, love, and all the subtle complexities that come with being in the middle of a journey.
Talking Lion is about hitting record on these conversations and sharing them with you. There's no real structure, nothing really prepared, just friends talking about life and what it's been like and where it's going.
We recorded this episode with our friend Vesperteen, who is visiting LA from Ohio.
We first met Vesperteen when we opened for him at the Red Room in Boston. It was the first sold-out show we ever played.
Almost a year later, we reconnected in Los Angeles and wrote Medicine together, which became a single off his EP, The Hype Is Dead.
Some context for this interview. Vesperteen recently signed with KIDinaKORNER and had just announced an upcoming tour with Great Good Fine OK. He had been going back and forth to Los Angeles for writing sessions, including one with us.
An honest friend who gave us our first real experience of having an audience, Vesperteen has cultivated a ferociously loyal fan base while staying true to his pop rock spirit.
So,
without further ado,
this is Vesperteen, and you're listening to Talking Lion.
welcome back, Colin. How are you?
I'm great. I'm welcomed. I feel good.
Back in sunny Los Angeles.
I love it. It's a beautiful day out.
You were saying you had an exciting Uber pool ride over here?
Yeah. It wasn't so extreme, but it was notable. It was remarkable. The first, I'm doing pool, rocking the cheap ride, and the first other shared ride we picked up was a young man carrying an incredibly large combat bow staff.
Whoa.
Which I didn't know what it was at first, and then he gets in, and it took him like, it was just one of those like...
It didn't fit?
Yeah, he was like kind of going this way, and he was like, nope, that's not going to work, all the way down in the corner, and then back, and I was like, try going this way. Like, I'm trying to help him. And the driver's just like, what is this kid doing? And he's like trying to not scuff the upholstery or whatever.
How old would you say he was?
He's probably like 19, 20.
Oh, okay.
Maybe. Yeah. And so he was just a little awkward about it. And then finally, like, got it to fit, but it was like up, like, it was half in the driver, like, by this fucking stick shift, and then half in the back. And I was just like, well, that's fine. I was like, and I couldn't not ask. I was like, what is that for? I was just like, cool stick, man. I was like, is that for hiking? He's like, no, it's a quarterstaff for combat.
Young Padawan.
Yeah. I was like, that's cool, man. So he was interesting. Conversation ended there. And then the other interesting one is a little more weird. We picked up like a dude that looked like he just got off like some sort of, construction job.
Was he wearing
something.
the hard hat?
No hat, but just like the vest and like, the lunchbox and the
lunchbox.
Had obviously been working. But dude gets in, and he was sitting in the front seat, and I was in the back, and I was just like, oh my God, this guy smells incredible. And I noticed people's like scents and stuff, and his was just remarkable. Like, it smelled so good. I don't know what it was.
If you had to describe what the smell was.
It's difficult to. I love, La Boulange, they make like candles and scents and stuff here. I think it's an LA store.
I think,
that stuff smells really good. I want to say it was in that same category, but it was like something else. It was something I hadn't, and I've had like colognes and stuff, and like I've smelled it, but like whatever it was, and maybe it was a combination of just natural smell and just a little bit of this other scent.
Were we trying to find a way to like broach the topic with him? Like, hey, sir, I hate to break it to you, but
I was just so
you
enamored.
smelled delicious.
I was just like too horny to start a conversation to like muster up the courage to ask him. But I should have. Now I regret it.
Hey, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
True. I did actually. Another ride that I had earlier this morning. I got in the car and this girl was like just decked out. Like, definitely looked like she was going to like film a music video. Like, sequin, super sparkly jacket, and like cool like headband, hair in a ponytail, big bright fanny pack, very decorative leggings, and like bright shoes. And so obviously I got in, I was just like, I love your outfit. Like, you look amazing. What are you doing? She's like, oh, I just wear this every day. She's like, I dress like this for normal days.
Well,
I was like, that's awesome.
People can't see, but I think you're the most colorful dressed person on our show.
Well, and
so
I didn't
far.
realize it too, but you commented when I got here, and then she did too. She's like, I love your outfit. And I was like, oh, it's
Yeah, I
just
mean, to describe it, it's like blue with like different colored, like of the primary color flowers, and then like an obey tank top
Yeah.
that's like pink.
Any Vesperteen fan that might listen to this will know what shirt you're talking, because it's one of my only 4 shirts, and I have worn it for like 2 years straight. So.
When we play live, like I wear like a black button down, he wears a white button down.
Yeah, we
It's
have
like
an actual uniform.
Yeah.
it came from like I was like terrified of like I have no idea how fashion works. Like I don't know what matches. I don't know.
Can't go wrong with a button
You
down.
can't go wrong with a button down.
I love Uber pools, especially in Los Angeles, but it's always a bit of a gamble because you can take the ride by yourself, and it's obviously a little bit more
fine.
expensive, but you get there on time.
Yeah.
But the converse is, what if for less money you wind up meeting somebody who you write a song with, and then that song winds up making a bunch of it's the gamble.
It's definitely going to be interesting. Like, or there's a chance that it could be interesting, and that's fun. I like to take that chance.
It's the chaos of like the Uber system.
Yeah.
But sometimes, especially in LA, like it's sometimes better not to say that you do music. I tell people I edit crossword puzzles.
No, I've had that. Yeah, because I'd say 50% of the drivers. Because if they ask what are you doing, every day that I'm here, I'm making music. So every day I'm just like, I'm making music. And so I'd say 50% of them are just like, oh yeah, I do too. Like, and they just want to talk about
the
that.
SoundCloud's open.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah.
But then some of them are more, they're just like, let me hear your stuff. Put it on. Here's the aux. Put it like, and so that's fun. Like some of them are chill, and then some can be kind of awkward. But
You could definitely shut down a conversation by telling people that you're a crossword editor. I've gone there. I'm like, yeah, I edit crossword. They're like, okay.
No, moving on.
moving on.
Good to know. I'll keep that.
Turn
in
to the
mind.
other person in the pool. Like, what do you do? It's like sales.
Cool.
Cool.
That's nice. I'll keep that in my quiver.
Yeah, it's the LA survival guide.
Yeah, I really don't mind it. The only bad thing, the only unpleasantness of taking Ubers, I don't know if this is interesting to anybody. It's silly, Uber LA, but like riding through the hills in the backseat of a car is really rough. Like, and I don't get like motion sick or car sick ever for anything, but in the LA hills, riding in the back of an Uber, and if they're like a little bit wild, it's even worse. And I'm just like, like we gotta roll down the window and like can't look at the phone.
Like, if I'm Ubering somewhere like cross town or something, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get some work done in the back, and then like I pull out my phone to
rocking.
it's like shoot some text or emails, and it's like 2 minutes into that, I'm like, what? No, this isn't happening.
Yeah. Anyway.
So you definitely weren't born on a coast. You were born in Kentucky, you were saying?
Yep, good old Kentucky. I only lived there, or my family only lived there for a few years after I was born there. So I don't feel that much of a connection to Kentucky.
Do you have siblings?
There. I do. I have 3 younger siblings. I'm the oldest of 4. We pretty much lived in Columbus though for most of our growing up.
How old were you when you moved?
I think we lived in Kentucky and then Alabama for like a year or 2.
Oh wow.
But again, I was super young. So I think we moved to Columbus. I was definitely in early grade school, like probably kindergarten, I think.
And what did your parents do? Like, did you move because of work or because they just wanted a new?
I think we did at that point. My dad was doing radio, I think at that point. He was like doing a DJ gig, and so I think that's why we moved there. It's funny how little I know, but it's fun to conjure up because it's in there somewhere in my memory. But yeah, I think he moved there for radio. My mom, she's always done kind of this and that, odd jobs. She's musical. They're both very musical.
What do they play?
My mom was a vocalist, and she was in like theater and productions. That's actually how they met. Was at like a show that they were both working at. And my dad is a drummer, and so that's where I picked that up. There was always a kit at the house.
Would he like teach you, or did you get lessons?
He showed me. I tried to do a couple lessons, and they tried to get me to do like band, like in school and stuff. But right away, like, I was maybe 11 when he kind of just taught me some fundamentals, over, a few days. But from there, I was just like, okay, cool, got it. And then I was just like,
Yeah.
And then from then on, I was just like listening to stuff I liked, playing along with it, figuring stuff out, and like really just, I guess, self-taught, just like playing over and over and over for days and days and days.
Well, I mean, that'll definitely do it. The passion is, I think, the most important part, especially when you're younger. Like, if
Yeah.
you're bored of it already, like...
For sure. And I'm sure they saw that and they were like, oh, okay, he actually like wants to do this. Like,
Yeah.
So when you went to Columbus, did you like start a band in high school or something?
Yeah, I started playing, let's see, my brother started kind of playing guitar and he was younger. Let's see. He was like 5th grade, maybe 5th or 6th. And then right
What's the
around
age difference
then,
between, like, all
just
your...
2 years. So he and I are 2 years apart. So I think probably when we started playing together, I was in 6th grade and he would have been at 4th, I guess.
Oh, wow.
But he learned guitar really well, pretty quick. And then had another friend that like taught himself bass and we just like started jamming, playing like Green Day and,
Yep.
you know, the
Do you
easy
remember
stuff.
the name of that band?
Yeah, I think our first band was called Prevail.
Prevail.
Yeah. And we played a show, probably just the one show in our garage. It was like for the end of the school year, like just invited all our school friends over, like for a party.
The talk of the town.
Where we just played all Green Day covers in the garage. It was great. I remember, I mean, that's for sure, like the spark, like that was the initial, like, oh, I fucking like this.
Yeah.
Like just the vulnerability and the excitement of like performing and like I guess that was always already in me, but then like to experience it and just like it's like a drug or something.
I think
where
nobody
you're
ever
like,
prepares you for like the first time you see somebody react too.
Yeah.
I remember when we would do there's this big thing in my town called the Ferry Festa, where it would be like they would block off Main Street and my dad's band would play all the time. And one time he gave us like a 2-song like between their like set changes. And I remember like all of our friends came and like it looked like it was the whole Main Street, which you could see for like a half a mile. I just remember like, you know, you're playing music in your house your whole life, like more or less alone. Then to see everybody simultaneously reacting to something you're doing, that's, you know, I mean, egos or solaces and whatever, like that shit really feels good.
oh yeah.
It's indescribable.
Oh, I know. And I'm very in touch with that. Like how much I love studying like personality types and just that sort of just all the psychology behind why I am the way I am and why other people are. And so I am very aware of my craving or my desire to like entertain and like get that feedback and that like I'm aware of how much it like pumps me up, you know? And so at least I've got it in check.
Well, and of course, like the paradox of it is that like, you know, you can't be up there like looking like you want it. Like you have to be like cool and calm and collected up there.
But that is what
also
drives me is wanting it.
because the performance is a conversation.
Yeah.
Performance is like you know, we are having this sort of shared experience, and it can't be all in one area or all in the other. You know, I mean, if a crowd is experiencing it on its own, that's when they're talking. That's when they're engaging with each other.
Yeah.
And when an artist is up there, that's when they're like not necessarily giving anything to the audience. It's when there's that like communication that you end up having like a really special show when everybody's locked in. You know.
Yeah. Show them why they're here and like make it memorable, you know?
I think within a week of each other, I saw Donna Missel and Charlotte O.C. both perform. And these are like fucking performers. Like, I mean, Donna was like seeing like Janis Joplin. Like,
it
it was.
Her voice is wild.
And the thing is, like, I had seen her because of South by and also because of like just other shows. Like I'd seen her almost in every sized venue. Like, you know, and this was she's playing the El Rey. That's a big place.
Yeah.
Everybody was locked in. Like you could feel it. Like I was on a balcony area and everybody was locked in.
Yeah.
Like to have a performer who can just do that and all the steps that like come into play for that. But I feel like there is this wave of people who recognize the importance of performance because it's like, okay, we could be famous on Spotify. But what's that extra thing? Oh, be damn good at like having
Just
that.
another side of the same coin is like you gotta, if you want this whole package to really, I don't know.
Take off. Well, so do you remember the name of the first song you wrote with your band?
Oh boy.
Was it Prevail or was it Prevail?
Prevail.
Okay,
Yeah.
Prevail. For a second I thought it was like Prevail. I'm like, before you get married?
Yeah,
like,
exactly, yeah. This first song, man, I probably definitely don't. I'm trying to think of just one. I feel like there was one about something about like no one understands me, you know, like your typical like middle schooler is just like, teachers don't get it, my parents don't get it. just want to play music or whatever it was about, like something like that. That's the first one I have a memory of. But like I said, I think most of the other ones were covers, and we probably didn't really start. I guess maybe that was the first. Like, I probably started writing more like lyrics and kind of making songs, around like 14, 15.
What was your favorite Green Day song to cover?
Well, the first one was probably Basket Case.
Oh, nice.
And then, so we just did everything off of Dookie as much as we could.
Yeah.
Because they're all very learnable. Mm-hmm. And then after that, like album cycle or whenever they put out a new one, we may have done a couple. I forget what those ones were. Oh, it's the one that's like, dan-an, dan-an, dan-an.
Yeah.
Let the eyes fall asleep. But that one like goes into then this other part of the song. It like speeds up. So the whole song is like and then it's like so yeah. After that, I feel like after Dookie, we started like expanding our repertoire and listening to
It's I feel like everybody had like there were two Green Days. Like there were people who grew up with Dookie, and then there was like people who grew up with American Idiot. Like for us, it was like Boulevard of Broken. I mean, I remember when I first heard Boulevard of Broken Dreams. Yeah, exactly.
Same timing too.
When Boulevard of Broken Dreams and like Holiday and like when September Ends, like when those records, like when those songs were like part of the thing. I remember I had to get the Kidz Bop version of Boulevard of Broken Dreams because my parents didn't like that it had the F word in it. and I would sing it along with like my friends, and they'd be like, "What's fucked up when everything's alright?" I'd be like, "Wait, that's not the line, guys." Like,
so you guys are ad-libbing some cool stuff.
You guys are like, "Yeah, I think you guys are being edgy," and like I was the one who was like under the rock. You know, I also was like, when I heard the original too, I was just like, it sounds like there's like one person singing, but I thought it was like more of like a children's choir.
That's amazing.
That's so good.
Mine directs, I didn't understand Kidz Bop like from an abstract standpoint, but
it's a hard thing to understand.
Even
now as an adult.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel
that's
like
amazing that a band can do that. Like have like them and Weezer, and I'm sure there's other great examples. Or even like I remember
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah, for
I mean,
sure.
like we had
Just
Stadium
the
Arcadium.
longevity of a band, and it's like it goes to show. I mean, just.
Yeah, I think time of your life is going to be at weddings for the next 100 years.
Oh yeah, for sure. That was kind of in the middle.
That was in the middle,
though,
yeah.
right?
That was like a different.
But that was probably like their biggest hit to date.
Yeah,
I remember snowballing at in the town rec center at Time of Your Life.
Yeah,
because that song spanned, like you could hear it on the adult contemporary like dentist office station.
Also, when that song does come on,
And the rock station.
like when that first like fake intro comes in, I get like a little pang of anxiety because I'm like, do I have to dance with somebody? I'm like, I'm 23.
You're back in a bar mitzvah.
I'm back in bar mitzvah like time, you know. That song I think it has like this weird association. But.
I feel that way about "Low" by Flo Rida.
Just like, oh boy,
no,
here we go.
About to get freaky.
Cotton Eye Joe. I remember I knew the dance really well, but I refused to do it in front of anybody. I was like very self-conscious of it.
That's so great.
And the Cupid Shuffle. Just because I was just like I didn't know my rights and lefts.
Moves, yeah.
I didn't know my rights and lefts particularly well. So it'd be like to the left. And I always was afraid to be like going to the right while everybody was going to the left. I'd be like the L and the my hands out kind of.
For all the listeners, we're making the shape of an L on our forehead.
On our forehead. Yeah. Oh, I mean that was a song. But also like I first heard that song in Shrek.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was most people. Did that song come out long before the movie, or did it?
I don't think long before.
Right. Yeah. What an interesting.
I don't know.
I liked Counting Crows.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like that's the thing though. It's cool when those bands have like, because then you know you discover the band like wherever they are, but then you also have this whole long. You know, and you get to have this sort of relationship.
Like my first Linkin Park album was Minutes to Midnight, but then you go back and you like, listen to the old stuff, and it's like,
yeah. That is fun.
Yeah. Well, I think my first Linkin Park was Hybrid Theory, but even there you could go back to and same with like all the metal bands like Escape the Fate or whatever. But,
oh boy.
So did you go to college in Ohio as well?
I did not. So around 15 or 16, I started playing with these guys that became my first like real band. And
what was that band called?
Well, in high school we were called No Tagbacks. It's very pop punk, like, you know, whatever.
And you're playing drums?
Yeah.
Were you singing too?
Yeah, I was singing backup.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, that's cool to kind of like, I'm still doing that now. It's cool to like have that history.
The Phil Collins, like.
Yeah, and then become the frontman. And so, we started this band like in high school, and then by the end of high school, we had things going pretty well. We went on tour, or we had like a little record deal that just some guy started a little indie record company out here in Orange County actually, and funded our record and put it out, and did decent, for where we were, like right out of high school. We were like, this is great, like somebody's paying to make records.
Yeah.
And we have CDs in our hands, and so we did a tour right out of high school. So all through high school.
How old were you when you went on your first tour?
I graduated at 18 and went on tour like a couple weeks after that.
Wow.
And so all through high school, I was very into art, and I did a lot of illustration and graphic design and painting and drawing and stuff. And so I had some scholarship opportunities for art colleges that I didn't take because my band was going on tour. And I was like, I loved both so much, and it was a bit of a hard decision to make, but I really didn't like school. Like I just hated it, and I wasn't good at like doing it. And so the idea of like more school was just like, I'm gonna go on tour. This seems easier and funner and different. So that's like really the crossroads where I made that choice to start doing music.
What was that first tour like? Like, was there any highlight, or did you sleep in random places?
Yeah, it was awful. It was like a weird kind of Christian rock carnival type of thing where there was just like 12 bands all traveling together in a caravan, and it was our first real tour, and so we were just 18-year-old kids, like, and this was 2001, so we had no phones and we were like looking at maps and shit, and like
oh my god.
So it was, looking back now, I can be like, that was such a special adventure. But like at the time, we were like, this fucking sucks. Like we were just like playing parks where there was like barely anybody there, and like in weird places, weird parts of the country and weird cities and stuff. We were just like, why are we playing in this city? Like we're close to Portland. Why don't we just go play there? Like we're in some weird like Eugene, or there's like something even more obscure. And so it was an adventure. Van broke down at the end, and we like literally just like left it in Arizona, and like we got it fixed, and then it just like fucking blew up. And
sorry, it blew up?
It just like, it was fixed, but it just like overheated and like caught fire, and it was bad. And so it was just like beyond repair. So that was fun. Also, I started dating my now wife literally right before we left for that tour.
How did you guys meet?
We met through the church that we were going to at the time.
Oh, wow.
And we just like decided to start dating, even though I was like, I'm leaving in like 3 days for 2 months straight. And she's just like, that's cool. And so like we've built our whole relationship on like me traveling. I guess like that was the initial, like, if we can get through this, maybe we'll make it last, And so we did. We like wrote letters and just called each other and stuff. And so it was like
calling
this cool,
from payphones and
like calling cards. So that whole summer was. Oh, also Jimmy Eat World's Bleed American came out the day we left for the tour.
Oh, wow.
And so that was like our theme.
The theme, yeah.
And then the day we got, or the day. So that Bleed American, Jimmy Eat World was our like theme music the whole tour, and it was quite an adventure. So it really made an impact. And then. And we just loved the music. And then the day after we got back from this tour, we were all burnt out, and Jimmy Eat World was playing in Cincinnati. And so a few of us went to that show because we were like, we got to go see them play. That was September 10th of 2001.
Holy shit.
That night. And then, we drove back late at night. And then I remember waking up like really tired the next morning, my mom telling me about 9/11. And so like, that was quite the summer
Jesus.
for me. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, wow. Yeah, I was in New York, and I was in kindergarten, and there's so much to understand about that specific day. But touring as well. I also went on my first tour when I was 18. And actually the weirdest place I wound up staying was in Columbus, Ohio.
Really?
It was that we played a house show like in a basement. It was the last day of the tour. And we wound up it was 8 of us. We all slept in the same room. And it was somebody's guest room. And we found in the corner of the guest room a used condom. Just like hanging out in the corner. And none of us wanted to touch it. None of us wanted to deal with it. And so we drew straws, like, not really drew straws.
For who was
like,
sleeping next to it?
For who, like, the proximity to the condom. I don't remember who like wound up where, but I remember I was definitely closer to the condom than I wanted to be. But I think anywhere in the room was close to that condom.
That's so great. Tour stories are good.
So the name of the band was No Tag Back.
Yeah, and then after that, shortly after that, we changed it to, we kind of retooled, and we weren't writing, pop punk stuff anymore. It was a little more mature. And so we changed it to House of Heroes.
How'd that name come to be?
It was just one of like 3 or 5 names that we were like, this sounds cool. I forget what the other ones even were. But yeah, so yeah, we just landed on that. It sounded cool. And that was probably 2002-ish.
Did you put out like a record with that?
We did. We put out a bunch of records with that. One was on an indie label, again, out of Orange County with a different guy. And that was cool. And then we signed with this label out of Nashville and put out 5 records, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, maybe at least 5 or 6 releases and maybe 3 full lengths. Yeah.
I mean, that's gotta be like, what, like 50 songs or something like that?
Oh, yeah, we've got a lot of songs. Yeah.
It's like looking through the archives.
Well, we put out a whole, like, kind of towards the end, we put out a B-sides record, and that was like
wow.
20-some songs that just were on various things or not released.
And what was your fan base like a very religious fan base, or was it more...
Well, that's the thing. We never really fit into that scene. Like, we were all kind of had grown up in the church and stuff, but none of us were very on board with what it was all about, and just like the way that the music scene was involved. Like, it was just real weird. Anybody that knows. And so anyway, but we signed with this like kind of Christian record label because just like our friends worked there and our other artist friends like were on the label, and we were just like, cool, this, and we were still young. We were like 20 years old. And so we were just like stoked. Hey, our friend's label wants to give us money to make records and put it out. We're like, hell yeah. Mm-hmm. Even though we knew like, we don't really fit on it.
Right.
And so ultimately they did a lot of great stuff, but I think ultimately they didn't really know what to do with us because we didn't really fit that genre or that mold. So we did as well as we could. Kind of probably hit a ceiling pretty early on. But
were you playing around Columbus too?
We played around Columbus. We did a lot of touring. We did a bunch of tours with like Reliant K and
oh nice.
And so we kind of fit in like that scene,
Did you ever play while Jake was also in Reliant
K? No. No, this is probably, let's see, we probably did one with them in like 2008, 2010, 2012. I think we did like 3 tours with them.
And you're saying you met Josh because of House of Heroes?
Yes. Yeah, he came out to shows in Columbus. And so I initially met him then. And then he started working at Guitar Center, to which I would frequent the drum
the drums,
room.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'd just chat about drums and
Would
stuff.
You guys do like a...
we never have. We have kind of played together in various ways over the years, but yeah, we've never done a drum off. I feel like he's definitely surpassed me in the like soloing skills for sure. But yeah, so he came on to play for House of Heroes for about a year when I stepped down for a little while, and then I came back. But then yeah, we just kind of were good buds from then on.
And do you remember when they started 21 Pilots, and in what timeline did that also correspond to the Vesperteen project starting?
It was all around. Well, let's see, that all happened around. I think I came back to play the House of Heroes around 2010 or 11, and pretty shortly after, he played with a couple other like bands trying out stuff before he started playing with Tyler, and then I think it was around 2010, 2011, and then we both were doing that for a while, and then House of Heroes sort of started to, like, we had fulfilled our label deal, and then we did like one Indiegogo release kind of thing. But we all knew we were kind of like not, like we weren't about to like tour on it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. We put out what I think was like our best album, but it was just like, there was nothing in us to really push it any longer. And we were all already starting other stuff, all of us. And so.
Were you married at that point?
Yeah. Yeah. I've been married since 2005.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And so, yeah, so, I guess we all kind of just agreed that we were like, yes, we're not going to keep doing this.
Right.
But we never broke up. We actually just played a kind of reunion show at the end of last year.
That's awesome. In Columbus?
In Columbus, yeah. We just played like, it was the 10-year anniversary of our like kind of most popular album. So we just played. It was amazing. It was a lot of fun. It was super good. It ended up being like a giant show that we didn't
That's
really
awesome.
plan on. Like it started at like a 200 cap place, and we're like, yeah, this will be fun. We'll fuck around, play the album for family and friends. And just it kept selling.
That's
So we
awesome.
kept
So
upgrading, yeah. So that was awesome. But yeah, so that band, yeah, we kind of started just knowing we weren't going to be putting a ton of work into it. I, at that point, wasn't sure what I was going to keep doing music-wise. I was
have you ever played some of those shows at those songs at Vesperteen?
no,
shows?
I've never really did any kind of crossover like
Gotcha.
that. They've been pretty separate. But so at that time, I also, like I said, I did a lot of art. And so actually, when we started House of Heroes, I started doing all the art for, or most of it, for all of our merchandise and a lot of stuff like that. And then I started designing stuff for other people, other bands, and doing that kind of thing. So in between House of Heroes and Vesperteen, I was doing a lot of graphic design work.
That's awesome.
Kind of figuring out if I was gonna kind of keep doing music in some way, and I just wasn't sure. And then I started playing just like solo shows. I kind of missed it right away. Like as soon as I was like,
That performance addiction.
yeah, exactly. As soon as I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna do music, I was just like, as soon as I let it down, I was just like, oh no, I gotta keep playing.
Were you writing like still? At that
Yeah, and I just didn't know what it meant. So I just had my buddy in town who is a promoter just like throw me on to open shows, just me playing acoustic, which, you know, over the years I wrote a lot for House of Heroes, and so I had just tons of like half-baked ideas, and I just kind of finished a lot of the ones that didn't really fit for that band that I was like, oh, these are more kind of solo artist stuff. I'd finish those and then go play them opening for whatever show around town. Just to feel it out, just to be like, this is fun. Like, do I want to do something like this? And so shortly, sometime around that, I finished a batch of songs that I was just like, oh, this is something else. Like, this is a thing that I think I really like. And my buddy Jesse Kale, who helped like engineer and produce the first EP, had just moved back to Columbus. And I was just like, you want to record these songs?
How did you and
with me?
Jesse meet?
I guess maybe through like church scene and mutual friends and stuff. Actually, yeah, I was friends with another guy that he played for. I guess, I don't know if that was it. Yeah, we just had a lot of mutual friends in Columbus. It's a pretty tight-knit scene of like musicians and stuff there. And so everybody kind of knows everybody. But yeah, he actually lived out here in LA for a while, but then he was moving back. And we had talked about working together for a while. And so I was like, you want to like help me record these? And so that was when Vesperteen started. And I really, even while we were recording, I was only barely considering like playing the songs live. And I was just like, I don't know, maybe I will, maybe I won't. Like, I just wasn't sure. I decided while we were recording, I was like, I think maybe I'm going to play the drums for this project. Like, I was like, I could play standing up and like still be a front man and like do that, but like I'll feel kind of safe behind my kit if I need to or whatever. And so it was all just very like came together, and I was just like, okay, I think this is what it looks like. I think this is happening. And I'm not one to really do anything half-assed. Like, you know, it would be easy and to just like make something and then be like, it's kind of a lot of work to keep this going and then just forget about it. And I see that happen with people, but I like have whatever it is, compulsion, just be like, no.
This has to
Like,
be the thing. Like,
yeah, and I don't know, there's something about it that I could tell it was good, which I'm always second guessing if my stuff is good. So
Were you working towards a record, or were you working towards more like
I
singles?
think we
or
still
an
didn't really
EP?
know. And then just once we got to like 5 or 6 songs, I was like, okay, this is good, you know? And yeah, so then I just put it out and yeah, it started to just catch on, and that was great.
So the first single was I Never Knew How to Love You. And you were saying your favorite lyric is from that song. What's that lyric?
Yeah. The lyric is, we all make a different sound when we break.
We all make a different sound when we break. We all make a different sound when we break.
It means that everybody has a different reaction when they are kind of pushed to their limits, or when they hit rock bottom, or when things go completely crazy.
I like
Everybody
that.
has a different expression of their pain or their, you know, whatever they're experiencing in that moment. So yeah, some people stuff it down, some people go crazy, some people push their energy into something else. And so that's what the line means. It's just like, we all have a different way of dealing with tragedy or trauma.
Well, and I think that resonates with your fan base too. They all, I mean, they come from different areas and interact with your music in different ways, but like, you know, at the core, you know, everybody, a break is a break, you know?
Yeah.
So that was the first song. When did you put out that first song?
It was September of 2015.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So I guess we all started roughly around
the same time.
Yeah.
the same time. Yeah. And what was the initial reaction like? Was it like you put it out and everybody was freaking out, or was it
No,
like
I
a
think it
slow
didn't really
kinda-
start to catch on till like maybe early the next year. I feel like is like I think 2016 is when it started. Well, like we put out a music video, and that just kind of snowballed.
And how did you wind up meeting DBMK?
I guess just when they played with us in Florida. I think that was the first time I met them.
Because that's where all of our paths wind up like intersecting. 'Cause
Yeah.
we went to school with
Boston.
Kyle.
Yeah.
I remember like one of the first times like I think Kyle was at a show we played at the Red Room
at one of our Red Room shows.
like a different show, and then he like wanted to get lunch. We got lunch, and he was telling me about the band, and then we were asked to play it, and we didn't know who you were. I don't even think we necessarily looked it up. We just were like, hey, we'll do this show.
Open for someone at the Red Room, see what
Because
happens.
we were being asked to play the Red Room pretty frequently. We were sort of like the ringers, you know.
Yeah,
We'd be
yeah.
called because we were quick and like
Call to open
you could
it.
let us know a day before and we'd be there.
Yeah.
But I remember very specifically that when we arrived there, it was raining a little bit, and there was a line like down the block, and we did not expected or known that like it was. I mean, it was a sold out show.
Yeah.
Which also like we played like the room being packed before it, but we'd never seen people line up outside. And even to the point where like as we were walking there, I heard like somebody whisper like, "Oh, that's Sleeping Lion," and I'm like, that's never happened to us before. Like I'm like, do I wave? Like what? So we walked in. I remember, you guys are prepping and setting up and everything, and it was one of the most incredible shows
Yeah, it was a good
we'd
one.
ever
It was
played. I mean,
fun,
I've told you this before. Like before the show, we didn't have like fans, and then after the show we had people like tweeting and like Instagramming and everything. It was like a crazy like crossover
That's
episode.
so great. No, I remember coming out to see you guys. I probably watched more of you than I did most other opening bands because I was just like, this is cool, man. Like, I think you just had like SPD and a piano and
Yeah,
like
as a-
sax.
as just a
and,
kid,
yeah,
yeah.
Pretty much it.
yeah. And I was just like, this is cool. This is something.
Well, it was fun. I mean, it was a packed room. I remember also like afterwards, like people were lining up for all of us. I mean, they mobbed
Yeah.
Yeah.
the like lobby of the room.
Those fans are just so intense. They just care so much.
I got like
Yeah.
4 things of kale juice to give to Jesse, which I'm like, I don't know. I know him just as well as you guys do. Like,
Pass it along.
just like, yeah, it's probably better if you went to him directly. So they're like, yeah, tell him that Kara gave him this kale juice. I'm like, I don't know.
Sure.
That was a crazy show, and then like the coincidences stacking. Like as we were driving out to Los Angeles, we stopped in Nashville, and we were told we were going to be in a session with Fangs, who was also on the podcast. And so we went to see Fangs live, and as we're waiting outside, like we came a little bit early to the venue, you guys pass us by. I'm like, it takes me a second. I'm like, hello? Is that, are you Vesperteen? Like, it's like the odds of just that we'd all sort of be in that like spot
Yeah,
too. Because
yeah.
we didn't know you were playing with Fangs that night either.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but then, yeah, we finally came together in Los Angeles, and we wrote Medicine together.
That's right.
I remember that. That was, you were out, right?
Yeah, I think it was I might have been in Boston or Rome
I think
or
you were like
something.
out of the country. Yeah.
Yeah, it was because it was January of
Yeah, it might have-
2018.
Yep.
I remember we had that beat that you sent over. Now I just like it was like a. And we were talking about your wife. We were talking about the migraines.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I remember like when you first like the piano comes in and the like that section comes and I remember when you first hit that melody note.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's some special stuff.
I remember, I don't know why I remember this, but I just remember you saying when I was singing the melody, we could be all right. I could be your medicine. So I was singing it more like online.
yeah.
And you were like, no, just like say it, like finish it quicker. You're just like,
Yeah.
I can be your medicine. I was like,
And we had
"Ah,
that space.
That's right.
like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I love too. I mean, the evolution of a song is always like so interesting to track. But I think a good chunk of the song was finished while I was visiting my best friend in Philly. So I remember being like in like his basement, like everybody's drinking around me, and like I'm hearing the ending. I'm like, what if we drop out everything at the very end, and it's like this like counterpoint choir thing.
Yeah,
like,
we did the kind of chanty thing.
Yeah,
that
to
goes
the
all the
very
way
end.
through the end. Yeah.
Well, because you were saying, I remember, because we also talked about it on the phone. Like a song develops remotely in such amazing ways. You know, I remember we were going back and forth about the "Please take two of these" and where that lined up on the phrase, and like, yeah, I remember you were like, yeah, I wrote this like really cool like sort of chanting part, and but I don't know, like maybe we can have like that Coldplay sort of idea going. I'm hearing it, I'm like, what if we were to like counterpoint it with the the chorus, and then Noah throws in this other little thing, whatever. And so when all these elements are coming together, I'm like, what if we just drop out all the instruments and we're just like, here are the vocals doing this like crazy constructed arrangement.
Always a fan of that.
So yeah, it was a special song.
It turned out great. No,
Yeah, it was a good one.
It's a fan favorite too. I've never played it live, and everybody's always kind of begging me to play it live. So.
Hey, if you do play it live,
Someday.
send the videos over.
All right.
Or maybe like we'll hop on stage if it's
That
in
would
LA.
be
Like,
awesome. Yeah.
we'll do the counterpoints like as like a choir. We'll get Kidz Bop up too.
The song needs more vocalists for sure.
Yeah, no, it's it's a special song, and what was cool too is that like it was all of us. You know, it's just, like we like this history that we had from like that first show in Boston to Nashville. It's like the momentum of it.
Yeah, and that whole that was one of 2 co-written songs on that EP on Hype is Dead, which I wrote the whole first EP just by myself even before going in with Jesse. And so to write with, I wrote with a band for years and years in a bit of a different way. And so the collaborations regarding lyrics and melody and stuff like that really was still kind of new to me.
Well, I mean, and learning how to collaborate is a skill in itself. Like I feel like you and I are similar in the sense that we're very particular, especially when it comes to words. So I remember like it was more, for some people it's like you write a line and that's the line. For other people it's like you write a line and that's the idea of it, and then somebody has to go, like that artist has to go and like do. So I know like a lot of the verses, like we had thrown around ideas, but like in the 24 hours between our session and when I got a text from you, like the verses sort of come. Because at a certain point, like certain artists need to like express that thing.
Yeah.
Collaborate. I feel like collaboration in a lot of ways is just like sparks. It's like, it doesn't necessarily have to be the fire, but it has to be the thing that pushes the final idea.
Well, it's just something else special happened. Like sure, I'm capable of writing a good song on my own, but like there's just something different that happens. It's like there's just something extra. And like I really, since then I've done dozens and dozens and dozens of co-writes.
Right.
And it's always an experience and it's always great. And there's always something just extra. It brings something out of me and I bring something out of them, and like there's something special about it.
I feel like the difficulty of co-writing and also the beauty in it rests in like the phrase like I never would have done that. It's like it's a lot of stuff you're just like I never would have done that like that. But and sometimes that's frustrating. Sometimes it's like really beautiful. Because
sometimes it's like I never would have done that, and so it doesn't fit for my artist. Sometimes it's like I never would have done that. And it's everything I wanted to say.
That's the balance, is figuring that out. Like, oh, cool. I think like I love what you did with that, but does it work for me?
Because I remember we were sort of tossing ideas back and forth, and nothing was like sticking. And we went outside to the backyard, and I was like, how have you been? I know you've been traveling a lot. And you're like, it's good. I know it's hard being away from everybody. Like my wife has these migraines, and we started talking about the migraines. And like, I remember she sent you like a list of like words too, that associated with everything. And so the whole idea was a sort of like organic development of like, a very genuine, it was a conversation we had to go down.
Exactly.
Like, as any good song is, it's sort of this like conversation that culminates, I don't know, that's the purpose of a good song. A song is something that's specific yet relatable, universal, and yet real. So it's I don't know, it's cool that we all got to do that together. So I got some MySpace questions. Are you ready for some rapid fire stuff?
Yep.
What do you prefer to drink in the morning?
Coffee.
Can you do push-ups?
Yes.
What's your favorite meal?
Pizza.
Favorite non-musical hobby?
Art.
Like digital or
Yeah, illustration and drawing, graphic art.
middle name.
Mark.
3 thoughts at this very moment.
It's beautiful outside. I really have to pee, and I'm just amped on coffee.
Yeah.
So I shouldn't ask you what 3 drinks you drink regularly. what with the peeing?
No, it's all good. I can do that one. Coffee, LaCroix, and alcohol.
Current worry right now,
Current worry.
other than peeing in your pants.
I would say because I'm out here making music, like just that what I'm doing is good.
Feel that.
For that. Favorite place to be?
Snuggling with my wife.
Aw.
Anywhere that is.
How did you bring in New Year's?
We just went to a friend's party. It was a pretty chill party. It was prom themed, so it was a lot of fun.
Do you have any recurring dreams?
Yes, sort of nightmarish dreams of like shows going very wrong, like being announced to go on and like nothing is ready.
Yeah.
Very reoccurring.
Can you whistle?
Yes.
Can you whistle one of your songs? That was really good. That was some of the strongest whistling. Favorite color?
Blue.
A.
Hey.
My favorite question. Would you be a pirate?
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice.
I have a pirate girl tattooed on my chest. I think that's telling of a past life.
Yeah, we've gone back and forth. I would love to be a pirate. So
yeah.
I thought that was gonna be a universal yes, and then like the first
Like,
people
no, I
were
wouldn't
like,
be a
no
pirate.
way.
Sounds like a lot of work. And I'm
No,
like,
I have I think natural like inherent tendencies towards I mean it sounds terrible because pirates are like not
no,
great,
yeah.
but like towards just drunken, indulgent and adventuring spirit
Yeah.
and just like
Seafaring.
conquering. Yeah, seafaring. I do. I love this.
Pirate captains are great leaders.
It's
you know?
true.
Legendary leaders. you know?
Yeah, I wouldn't be like so villainous, but
Yeah. I mean, I would like.
I'd be a cool like Orlando Bloom kind
Yeah.
of.
I would
pirate,
sword fight anybody who challenged me to a sword fight. You know.
Yeah, I'd be very into dueling for sure.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Noah's convinced I'm gonna die.
I would probably
definitely
also
die,
though
cool.
like get like seduced by a siren, like mermaid
Oh,
or something,
yeah.
and that'd be a whole side story.
Well, okay. So are we talking like mythical pirates, or are we talking like real life pirates? Because they're like sirens don't exist, but because I feel like I also would be. Everybody would be seduced by sirens. That's what they do. They tie
Yeah.
me to the mast.
Yeah.
But real life pirates, I don't think dealt with the same qualms. You know,
I don't know.
the Kraken.
I think there's an overlap. There's a Venn diagram of what in my mind is real and mythical.
Definitely.
What songs do you sing in the shower?
New song ideas that I have to record the second I step out into my voice memos.
There should be like a shower thing that you can record. You know, it's like
That's why I always take my phone right by the shower because I know I'm gonna come. You know why? Because it's like your brain isn't encumbered with anything else. Like it's
there's no
not being
distractions.
fed anything else.
Yeah.
You're
It's like
just
forced
like
meditation.
yes, it's great.
so. These are actually favorite girl's name, favorite boy's name, but name of your kids. Because these are for like people who like hypothetically might name a kid.
Oh, so I just get to name mine.
You just get to name them. You already got to do it.
We've got Sailor, it's a boy. Clover is a girl, and Caspian is a boy.
Those are awesome names.
Very pirate names, I
Very
would say.
Ooh, you're right.
Very pirate names. Yeah, especially Caspian. Like you
Yeah.
name a whole sea after
And
that.
a sailor, yeah.
Yeah. Worst injury you've ever had?
You know what? I've always been surprised that I haven't had worse injuries. I've never broken a bone. Or actually, I did. I fractured my foot, like a foot bone, at South by last year.
Ooh.
Just from walking. It wasn't a cool story. I was just like moving a table or something, just rolled over, cracked it real good. So that was in Austin, and it was in the middle of a tour. So I played the rest of the tour with like a broken foot boot.
Oh, fuck.
Had a cane and shit. Yeah.
What is your worst habit?
Worst habit? I'd say I can be very indulgent or sort of self-destructive, like
In your seafaring?
in my in my conquests of villages and yeah. No, I just like I find it hard to resist the most sweetest dessert or like the most
Yeah.
like if there's like a salad or like a I don't know why I thought of this. I can't even pronounce a croque monsieur. You know that sandwich? It's like
Yeah.
a fried ham.
Egg,
Oh, yeah,
cheese.
Yeah. Like if I had the choice, I'm like, yeah, I'm going for the
Yeah.
the dirty shit. Yeah, and so in most areas of life, I'm like, give me the most.
Yeah.
Give me what's gonna really be bad, and then back it down a little bit. And that's what I want.
What's your favorite book?
The Martian Chronicles by Ray Bradbury.
Ooh, a sci-fi guy over here.
Yeah. Well, he does sci-fi in a really cool
Yeah.
way. He did sci-fi before like we even had like the space program, so it was
Yeah.
all just like imaginary and yeah, I just love his style of
Yeah,
writing.
beautiful
and the way,
writer.
Yeah.
I love Bradbury's writing. I have a bone to pick on his philosophies on time travel.
Oh, really?
Well, because he's the one who invented the butterfly effect.
Did he really?
Yeah. So he was the whole idea is that in one of his shorts.
I'm still working through all of his books.
Yeah, in one of his shorts, he goes back and like when somebody goes back in time.
I know the one.
And steps on a butterfly and it
Yeah,
changes
okay,
the whole
okay,
future.
okay. I didn't know that was the
Yeah.
origin. Okay.
Versus Heinlein, who had All You Zombies, which is like time can't be changed, and so it's a person who's actually interacted
Okay.
with other versions of themselves without actually realizing it.
Yeah, I think that was called The Sound of Thunder, and it's about like
yeah,
like people that go back
Back
and,
to see dinosaurs or whatever.
yeah,
Yeah,
they make a few little changes. But I just love the way, and that one I forget the exact line, but he just says something about like, you know, the hot tar breath of the animal and the steel fangs. Like he just
Yeah.
has such a cool way of like describing things using other things that like you wouldn't think of, you
Yeah.
know, like
Were you ever an Asimov fan?
I read the Foundation
Oh, nice,
series.
yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, I got qualms with like Back to the Future too. I got qualms with like any
changing timelines.
changing timelines. like
Have you seen the OA?
No, not yet.
Oh, that's good. That's more. It's not time. It's more like dimensional. Stuff.
Umbrella Academy
It's
is
fun.
also
Is it?
time
I haven't watched it
travel
yet.
based. But
Okay.
yeah, I prefer like
a fan of that
Time
stuff.
Crimes and Primer and
Okay.
like
The
sort
third
of-
Harry Potter movie.
the third Harry Potter movie. I think the third Harry Potter movie is one of the best time travel movies.
Really?
I stand by it.
I'll have to go back and watch.
What's your favorite? What is your favorite movie?
Favorite movie? Man, I haven't thought of that in a while. I could say it's the same with saying who's your favorite artist. Like I don't have a favorite artist. I might have like a favorite album.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Well, what about like a movie you've seen
So like
recently?
a current, yeah. You know what I loved was that Mad Max Beyond Thunder.
the Fury Road.
Fury Road. Yeah.
If you're right, going.
I just thought it was amazing.
I can see your music going really well with Mad Max. Like that's kind of like just that's like that level of like rock, but like sort of
Very
like heavy and intense. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean that's you really love that movie. Noah's actually got like a Mad Max poster in his
Yeah.
room.
Nice.
Fury Road.
It was just shot so well. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it's
was
a
awesome.
beautiful film.
What is your favorite candy?
Candy. Anything that will like kind of keep me occupied while driving. I love like red rope. What's that?
Red
I
Vines?
think it's a
Red
sweet.
Vines, like Twizzlers.
It's not a Twizzler. It's a Sweet Tarts brand.
Oh wow.
Red rope something. It's not licorice. It's just like chewy candy. Or like tropical Skittles or something that are
Oh,
really
yeah,
good.
yeah.
That shit's good.
And then I think this is the last one on the list, but it's a bit of a dark one.
Oh, boy.
What song would you want played at your funeral?
Oh man, that is dark but great. Oh.
That was like a death sigh. I was like,
That's
that
me
was
just
your whole mortality,
imagining
just like.
my friends and family looking at me. Oh man, that's a great question.
We need a lighter final question. I think I need to like rearrange some of these.
Yeah, this should start off the round of questions. No, that's. I mean, obviously, I'm an entertainer, and so I like want to like provoke a reaction. So I want something that will like make everybody cry or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, ideally, they'll already be crying if I
Yeah.
live the rest of my life.
Unless
as
it's like a
good person.
celebration of your life.
true,
You know? Like
yeah.
I've always I want Weird Al. I think that's what I've settled on.
Just like the weirdest, like I'm crying, but
Yeah.
now it just feels weird.
Man, I don't know. I don't know if I can have an answer. You know, it'd be weird and kind of morbid maybe, but it'd be fun to have the same song that like my wife and I walk down the aisle to.
Oh whoa.
Yeah, that's intense.
Just like a weird full circle closure.
Yeah. Wait,
like,
what song is that?
It's Damien Rice, The Blower's Daughter.
oh man.
Now that you mentioned Damien Rice, I think I want like my funeral song to be like Cannonball or something.
Oh, that's good.
That's a good one.
Yeah, he's got some good ones.
Oh man.
Or maybe like I love Rufus Wainwright. He's got really great emotional stuff. Like maybe him doing Hallelujah.
Oh
or something.
yeah,
that'd be good.
That'd probably be a good one. So you passed those questions with flying colors. I give it an A.
Sweet.
Solid A. And but grades, forget grades.
Yeah, school.
Forget it.
Grades are not important when you're no longer in school. But you just very recently signed with Kid in the Corner.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That. Yeah. And you've been writing at campus. I saw you were with Flint Eastwood too.
Yeah, this whole week, her and I were writing together, and her brother Seth, who's a producer, and Nige, who you guys have worked with,
cool.
and yeah, actually the 4 I think it's still kind of being worked out right now, but we're gonna by the time this is out, we'll have an EP coming out, and me and Nigel did all 4 songs on there together, and but yeah, it was me and Jax and Seth and Nigel started another 4 or 5 songs that are pretty rad this week. So
we heard some of them from Nigel, and like
cool.
it's some of my favorite from you. Like
Nice.
like you guys I think blend really well
Yeah,
together as
yeah.
far as like style
Yeah.
stuff, and like keeping all the elements that we like love, but like bringing in those like pop ideas and stuff.
Yeah.
It's really cool. Yeah, for anybody listening, like keep an eye out for that.
Yeah,
And you're touring with Great Good Fine Okay?
Yeah, that's all of June. That'll be a lot of fun. Those guys are great.
Awesome. We're huge fans of their
Yeah.
music, so
Yeah.
tell them we say hello.
I will.
Yeah, that's I think we let jam to like easy at least once a day.
Yeah,
you know,
that's good stuff.
That'll be a great bill, great show. Are there any
Yeah.
cities in particular you're excited about?
I mean, I like playing the cities that I just love to hang out in. So I'm excited for New York. We're playing in the Brooklyn Hall of Music or whatever. And so I think we're going to spend a couple days there, and that'll be cool. I wish we had more time to spend here. We're playing the Echoplex.
Oh, nice. They're right down the street.
Yeah, right here. But I think we're playing it right in between. It's like San Fran, Echoplex, Phoenix. So there's like no time to spend here. But I'm looking forward to that one. And we'll just have lots of friends coming out and stuff. So
Yeah.
And
them.
with all that, that's coming next. You're in Ohio now, but you come to LA a lot. Like we were talking, like would you ever come out to LA?
Yeah, I would. I mean, for now, while it's like financially makes sense, it's easy to just go back and forth. And just family wise, like we have all of our families there, and you know, a big group of friends and stuff. So it would be a major move, but we're definitely open to it. Especially if I continue doing more writing, production stuff, because it's easy to be an artist anywhere. Like you can live anywhere and be an artist, but
We're all on our computers anyway.
yeah, and and you're traveling anyways. But if you want to, I feel like working, which I love, you know, working with other people and other artists and stuff, it would be very convenient to be here.
Sure. Though you are a great remote worker. I mean, I remember from when we were doing medicine, like we did a lot over text and
it's
over
true.
calls and stuff.
Yeah.
Which, like, not everybody can do that.
Yeah.
I think, but I think it comes from sort of sometimes having to like
It's necessity,
yeah, like when we first started, he was in Rome, I was in New York, so it's like we just kind of got used to it. But we're almost wrapping. Is there anything else you want to shout out? Anything else you're excited about? Or
Get the EP whenever it comes out. Yeah, lots more to come. We'll probably be doing more shows in the summer and a fall tour. But yeah, just stay tuned. Tune in. Get into it.
Well, thanks for being on here, Colin. It's good to see
Of course.
you.
Thank you, guys.
We would like to thank Jägermeister, Outlaw Energy, and Isotope for their early support of Talking Lion.